What's up, What's up, everybody? Today is March 3rd, and gonna do my quick review and update on what we have going on with the portfolios today. So, starting out with the Roth, overall, still sitting. I don't think I added anything. Yeah, Boeing PGMO. This, oh no, this today. So as you can see, it looks like my runner got stopped out here on MO. Uh, PG had a pullback today. Didn't have capital to really switch positions on this one. I was able to do this in the IRA, and I'll show you that one later. And then finally, Boeing, switching from calls to puts. So, based on the overall market drop today, what I'm seeing and kind of what I'm leaning towards. So, we had the pullback, and we're sitting in this 1 day, 1 week BISIs. And I do like this to the upside. But when looking further under the hood and kind of looking for some continuation on QQQ, so QQQ, it's forming this gap here based off of the large drop overnight. And what I'm thinking is if we bounce from here, then, we'll rally back to the upside. But this could still be the start of a downtrend. And personally, what I would like to see is if we can just get done with downward business sooner rather than later and take out 580, 577. These 2 points over here. We have this weekly busy. Yeah, if we can just get down, take care of this, then I feel like we can resume going to the upside, and market should, rally strongly. But for now, uh, forming this gap on the daily. But back to Boeing. So with that in mind, what I saw with Boeing was while yesterday we came out of here and I entered the calls, with the drop today and the large push down, when looking under the hood at some things, uh, the hourly is not giving much confirmation of a full reversal. Looking bearish. I think if we're able to get, somewhere above here, maybe I could would change my mind. But as of right now, I think this is a great if we are to continue lower, I think this is a great opportunity for that. And then looking at the 15, it's right there in that gap as well. So that's kind of why I switched on Boeing overall. I do think that it will, and let's say if we were to split, this in half, yeah, halfway point is right here. So what we could possibly see is going from, premium side to a discount side. Maybe we get down here, we take 215, and then we can look for, reversal back to the upside. And even if we could just switch this, yeah. Auto trade, yeah. You get below the 50 and then, maybe get down here into this area. That would also be a good spot to take on some calls. So that being that, as far as the other trades go, still holding. Now, one thing I'm considering trying, because Amazon, Google, Fang, Nvidia, Tesla, these have had, they were up a lot higher this morning, but the market has since pulled back, and is reversing to the upside. I don't necessarily want to choke the trades, but I am considering maybe throwing on a stop loss to kind of see how we can manage the trade and protect capital. What I don't want to do is, oh, we're at 22%, and I don't think this one really got above 30 today. Um, but I'm trying to find a good area to say, hey, let's slap on a stop loss and have that kick in. So part of me is thinking, at minimum, I could move these to break even. My only gripe with that is that, let's say you look at Amazon, and the way volatility works on options can be a bit funky. Um, because this could, if let's say price, let me find the right drawing tool. Let's say price does one of this. It's, oh, started off the wrong spot already. Let's say price came back up here today. And then let's say it goes here, 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 here. The bearish trade is still valid. We're just kind of stuck in that sideways movement, but the bearish trade is still valid. Nothing, if price were to just pull back like this, the trade is still valid. However, this could show a negative. I'm not too sure I want to, and especially since I bought time, and this is why I like sticking with the monthlies and buying time, is because it gives me enough wiggle room to watch the trade play out, because basing these trades off of the daily time frame. So this is why, proper risk management and sticking to um, a portion size of that, being comfortable and willing to see the trade play out, and not necessarily just, oh, it went up 25%. Get out of this trade. Because I haven't even really let the trade go. Yeah, we're it's a green day, and ideally, I would want nothing but, these downward orange days, but the trade is still valid. It just might take a little while. It might do something like this, and then finally, one day drop through here. But all that to say, like, we could have, sideways price action, and then drops a little lower, pulls back, and then drops again. Those honestly could be used as additional entry points. Um, but for now, I'm considering it, but probably won't. But honestly, no changes to the Roth outside of Boeing, and to kind of give you an idea of targets. So Amazon looking for 196. Stop loss, I would say, yeah, if we pop over this, then I think we trade might be invalidated, just because, now we're looking more so at a bullish market shift. So, and alert, We'll get out there. When it comes to next one, Boeing. So if Boeing decides, as we're forming this, if Boeing gets above here, then I would consider a getting out of this trade and then looking for upside potential back to 236. But this one, like I said, it's a tricky one because it is in this space. But with the overall market showing some weakness and heading lower, ideally, I would like to see this take 215, and then I think, much better opportunity off of that pullback to then rally higher. Then moving on, when we look at Fang. So Fang pulled back into this daily right here. Honestly, this right here, I think I'll look to see what's happening. I already have that one marked. I'll look to see where we're at on this and what the momentum is looking like, because we could blow through this 186 and might just hold for 200. Stop loss on this though. Oh, doing that wrong. Nope, that's wrong. All right, Fang, Google. So like this, I think we were in like spitting distance of taking 296, $4 away. This, I feel there's no reason to switch the calls yet. I feel like we're gonna take this level here, possibly continue lower, but for Google, I'm not gonna think this is bullish. We'd have to get back above here for me to really consider this to be bullish. So, excuse me. Looking off of the daily, having time above here, I think that for me would invalidate this trade and let me know that, hey, we're looking, if this goes up above and then I would get in on this pullback here, then I'd be looking for that. But until that happens, I'm just going to maintain bearish. We're right here, relative equal lows as well. I think this honestly will be a great buying point for shares as well. So I myself might jump into some shares here, but that depends on, does it like just bottom out and then pull all the way back up to show that yeah, they're buying this up, or does it just blow through this, close down here? Then I'll probably wait until it gets down here and start a stock position. And I don't think I put. All right, that's Google. Honeywell. Honeywell's still holding. So on this one, looking at, when we look at this fib projection, this run pulled back. You could, if you use the golden level right there, hit that, and then rallied higher, took this out, and now looking for a 0.5. If we can get it, 264 would be ideal, but so far no change on this. And unlike last time, gonna delete this alert. Because honestly, if it breaks through here from a stop loss standpoint, then it's going to go through here, and we'll look for re-entry here on the weekly. So let's just so that's how I'm going to play this one. Preferably, I would like it to just push higher, but you know what? We gotta see what the market gives us. Nvidia. So right now, inside day, we had the big drop post earnings, pull back in here for our entry, and now was down, showing a bit of life. Looking under the hood at this one, yeah. So we entered around here on this 1 hour. So this could pull back, offer another entry here. Uh, but barring that, since this gap is just massive, this one, I'll say right here. And then similar to what I said, I want to say maybe it was yesterday, I'll look to re-enter here for puts. And what that could also be, couple things with this one, because it'll make the bullish market structure shift on the hourly and then go into here, we'll want to see what it does here. That will dictate my feelings on buying calls or continuing the downtrend. What QQQ does as well is going to dictate that too. But I'm feeling, we got relative equal lows like 1, 2, 3. I would like to see it take out 169.51. I also think, I would start a stock position there if it decides to hold. So yeah, and that would, yeah, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. No changes here. Took this sell side, but with these relative equal lows right here, I'd like to see these taken. I think that would be a much stronger point for this to reverse from when it takes the all the people who have their stops out under here, takes them out. I think that would be a much better spot. Think it would be a good uh, stock buying opportunity as well. I mean, if we look at it's like it's just been between here and here. So honestly, with how this even is, still very bullish if it decides, continue in this range. Below 350 wouldn't be too bad, or like this gap right here, that wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I'm looking for this to head lower, take 382. Then I'll move to the sidelines on this one. And then Walmart, consumer staples, moving strongly. So with Walmart, inside this 1 week, Bissy pull back to this 1 day version fair value gap. I'd like to see this push out of here, and then we can take that. But on the way there, we'll wait to see when this one forms. That's 128. Because I don't know, this candle could rally all the way up, but you know what? For the sake of probably won't look at this as our first target. Man, good Lord, I got a lot to say in here. Okay, that's that. So that's the Roth. Then kicking it over to the IRA. Wrong one. AMD took the sell side liquidity here. This one, I mean, by definition, it has reached a point where we would like to see it took the sell side liquidity, but given the large gap, I'm more so looking at AMD for the gap fill. How and when we get that, not sure, but given that we had large weekly gap here and then it just wicked right into that and pushed out of it, this I'm feeling is bearish for the near future. I would like to see it fill the gap, and I think once it fills the gap, I think we can definitely see this rally. Um, but I'm going to continue to hold this one. 45 days took the sell side. Also, AMD's been not really. It's been making a bunch of these little doji candles. So I'm not convinced just yet that we're done with the downside. So this one I'll maintain that viewpoint. Honestly, from a stop loss standpoint, I don't necessarily want to put it all the way up here, but since we got in here, yeah, just put it right there. This one I might have to I might move this one. That one probably get moved. I already went over Amazon ARM. So this is a roll. Now it took this sell side here, and why I rolled this contract, it looked a lot better when I got in. I want to say, where did I get? Or no, I know this one. I did not wait for my entry. So this one, I saw massive gap down. Got this here. So pulled back into this area. Honestly, if there is an option, I mean, could I possibly just redo this one? And this is where my patience got the best of me. So yeah, no, there's nothing under 600. So we're just gonna sit in these and have to feel the feels about not being patient, because now had I gotten in, now probably not down 15%, but Boeing I explained, Caterpillar, and I'll just open up the ones that are new. No, NVIDIA. Oh yeah, no. Did I already discuss NVIDIA? Yeah, because I talked about NVIDIA here. MU, PG, PayPal, Target, TSM, and Walmart. No, I already went over Walmart. Okay. Caterpillar. So Caterpillar has been very, very strong and has been leading the industrial space. What I saw in Caterpillar, honestly, um, whether you look at it on the weekly, skipped over this gap, but pulled back into this gap closer to the moving average as well. And then on the daily, pushing out of that. Honestly, I feel it's a prime opportunity. So if we're just to mark this chart up, actually no, because that's going to interfere with this. So we have all-time highs here. Right below that, we've got buy-side liquidity. And then sell side down here. So when we drop down to the daily, honestly, this one, stop loss is going to be here because I want to give it time. Since this stock moves, $26 a day, I want to give it a chance. I don't want to just jam it and say like, oh, right here at 700, I could lose that in a day. And that's why I have defined risk, so that we can't lose any more than the 600. So this, I would say, at least for today, because I might, depending on how the next couple days go, um, might see some differences in where I put this stop. But I would say right now, stop is right here. And then if we were to look under the hood, I mean, we haven't gotten above this yet. Stop could be here at 706. But I want to see how a day or two goes. And considering got 45 days on this, just let it, work itself out. CRM. So CRM has been getting beat down a lot, but I really like this entry because this is what I'm looking for. Took sell side, it rallied above, creating that market structure shift. It pulled back into the gap, and this is where I want my entries to be. Doesn't mean it's going to work 100% of the time, but this in this area here, ideal. Even if it was a stock trade, I'd love to, get in at this point. We have immediate buy side right here. That's $5 right there, and then we've got gap right here to fill. So really liking this one. I'd say for this, given everything, I'd say I'll put stop loss right here. CRM, Fang, Google, Honeywell, Microsoft. Did I do this today? Okay, so Microsoft. Microsoft was a today thing. Okay, yeah, not too sure what that was. All right, so Microsoft, I'm feeling like this, feeling a little bit like how I am with Meta. It's somewhat 50-50, but it could be giving me the sign now that it should be bullish. As you can see, well below that 50% point on this big weekly range. We're inside this gap here, but we also have this gap here, which could, rally back into, and then looking at the daily, although shallow, it still did give the market structure shift. So this one, I will say, I'm a little torn on. I Part of me wants to. Well, here, this is why we need to look under the hood. So, came down into the daily, and so as you can see, we hit have our inversion fair value gap here. That has held up. And then looking at other things, market structure shift here, kind of held this space. It dipped out of it during extended hours, but pulled back, top of the daily. And then even here, like, see, it took the sell side, rallied up, pulled back into this gap from here to here. Let's look at the 15. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think, puts might be wrong on this one, just based off of what's happening underneath. Because it was moving sideways, but it looks like, it took the sell side over here, rallied up, opens, pulls. We have order block here that it held. And then today we rally, pulls back, entry right here on this gap, and it's pushing higher. So this is how I hate to lose money getting ping ponged around. Adding in some additional things, above, getting above this 9 EMA. Could maybe come up to hit this. And then on the higher time frames, take one more look at this. I mean, if you're a fib trader, could say like, oh, it's right within this golden pocket. My only hesitation is QQQ heading lower, potentially. You know what? We're gonna take that risk. Because while QQQ can head lower, that doesn't mean every stock gets pulled down with it. So, gonna flip this one. And we'll see if our analysis is correct. For this one, I'm just gonna put it stop loss. Oh wait, this is the weekly. Yeah. Maybe I'll put it under here. This one I want to keep I might keep a tighter stop on. Just because it is kind of like in that 50-50 space. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, that's the business on Microsoft. MSTR. So this is a Bitcoin play. So from a weekly standpoint, and really, just get that one out there. Weekly standpoint, we're right there. You got these relative equal lows on the weekly. It's bumping up into this gap here. Would like to see it just finish the move. Maybe this could be what's needed, because then if we look at kind of where's this looking to head. I mean, Bitcoin might maybe it returns to this gap here briefly, and then we possibly see it go down to, and this is on a weekly chart. I'm not going to get too deep into Bitcoin, but you can see that, and then right there for the immediate target, and then you have here and here if it's going to continue lower, and then you have a little one right here. So these honestly, like, what's 2000? No, was that 1200 in Bitcoin? Yeah, that's nothing. So these honestly possibly just take that, and then that might be where Bitcoin rallies, but not too sure. But that's why MSTR, looking for it to head lower based off weekly trend right now, sitting bumping up into it. You got this daily right here, so looking for this to turn over. For this, put the stop loss up here. That way, this gap, yeah. Because then that also, especially depending on how we even treat the weekly, if it stays in its lower half, even better. So that's MSTR. MU. Switched on this one. So had the drop today. And I was bullish on this because I saw it was maintaining that upper half. But then what really made me switch was when I saw this drop, and then it pulled back up into the gap here. Let me darken that. That's what made me say, you know what, I think we might head lower on this one. So looking to take that down here to 364. NEM just got out of this one. NEM just got crushed today. This one really no need for a stop loss, no real explanation. I mean, just massive drop down. It may hold this. It looks like it's holding this area. Possibility for it to go back up. If I say we were to enter this trade right now, it would need to get above this for me, unless seeing something on the 15. Yeah, 15. I mean, got it over here, pushed up, possibly, like right here, I think would be a better entry. Oh, what'd you hit? I feel like NEM is like my nemesis. I don't know what it is. Ticker just does not want to cooperate. Maybe what we'll do for NEM, I don't want. keep my exposure low because base materials have been getting a good push. Let's look for 130. Pfizer. So this one stopped me out, but I also had a note um, to look at calls when it got back into this box here. So stop loss was right here, respected that, and then it hit, the 1 day busy. So this honestly, because I thought this one would hold. That's why I had my stop loss there. Now looking at it here, and we'll see how it plays in this area. Stop loss. Procter and Gamble, as you saw earlier, with analysis on that one. Oh no, I didn't do the analysis on this one. So this one, just complete drop through this gap. What we could see is it come back up in here and then turn over. But for Procter and Gamble, it has been on a run and might see it pull back to this gap here and then carry on. So liking this for the pullback. And yeah, we'll just see how this one plays out. But I think this is 159, $4. Yeah, I think very easy target to hit. So I've got the puts on those. This is a new one. So PayPal. Really liked how PayPal set up. It's been getting beat down for so long. You never know when good things might happen. But came down here, took the sell side, still working in this gap. So this does have the potential, like, where can it go? I mean, like, yeah, this is the start of the stock, I want to say, back here in 2016. So, like, a new all-time low if it goes below this 29.67. But what I saw, a lot of upside potential. Um, it's working to fill this gap in. And so what we have that market structure shift right there. And then went up, pulled back. So now when looking, under the hood, what do we got? So we had, this is the run, first big run, tapped it right there. And you even got another, you had your first entry here, and then another one here. Hour. And then the reason why I like this one is seeing like this candle pull back, then it's pushing. I like the push, and now it's even made, that market structure shift on the 1 hour. So this I'm looking to take to 48.50. And so we have that. That'll be a quick win. QQQ had a nice win on these puts. Then I tried to roll the contract. I should have waited for a better pullback on this one. Impatience on my part. Target. So we had earnings today, and things went well because like it pulled back into the BISI right here. And then with the earnings push, pushed right out of it. So for this one, looking at 127.06. So gonna let that one work its way. through. Had I been in I recently got stopped out of my shares. I think it was yesterday. But yeah, this would have been had I held. This would have been a nice hold. Um, but I try to avoid earnings because I was in United Health and had my shares up here. It gapped down. Actually, I'll just show you. I had to hold this massive drop. So, not a fan of holding through earnings. But that started. I got the 130 calls. We'll take profit along the way. Tesla I went over, and then TSM. TSM was similar to MU with how I'm kind of approaching it. Uh, big drop. So from a structure standpoint, it looks like it's just pulling back and pulled back into this gap here. We'll want to see how it behaves at this point. Looks like, we've gotten a wick off of here, but kind of like the difference between this and MU. Well, similar. MU, they both, pull back 1 week gap. This is 10-day moving average. Uh, but then when you look at the daily, kind of seeing, a different picture because we took this high, drops below, took out these sell stops. I mean, completely just obliterated this. This gap is inconsequential. And, we hit this gap, but this one might be a situation where we have the new gap that's formed today. And maybe, let's say this is as of right now, that's the gap for today. And maybe what happens is, from here, this could possibly go up, work its way. And then I'm thinking it's going to, work its way down here. So that's that. I'd say this one I'll watch a little closer just because it moves so much. But so far, weekly's holding. On the daily, it's below, one moving average. It's trying to get back above this one. But we'll just watch it. Still early on, only down 5%. So that's the business on the accounts for the day. Thank you guys for, joining me as always. Hope you were able to learn something from this, and seeing my mistakes and what I'm doing, trying to figure things out. Hope you ever learned something. Hope it helps. Once again, this is not financial advice, and it's purely just entertainment purposes only. But with that, hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.